Abhay has joined. Okay, we'll start now. Let me first briefly talk about what this session is about and what Mindscapes is. So again, thankful to all of you. Thank you for taking out time on a Saturday morning to be a part of this important session. These are Mindscapes webinars. Mindscape is an initiative of Newsreel Academy. Newsreel Academy, for those of you who are not aware of Newsreel Academy, Newsreel Academy is a unique institution, the learning arm of Newsreel Asia, where award-winning journalists share their knowledge and experience of journalistic storytelling in the visual format. We offer courses in storytelling and video production basically. Newsreel Academy has an alumni network of about 200 people from across South Asia, which includes people from Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. These Mindscape seminars, they were designed especially for the alumni, but we have kept it open for everyone. The sessions are crafted to broaden the knowledge and skill sets of our alumni and give them opportunities to know you actually personally and professionally grow. This webinar today is on right to information in India. I am and I'll be the moderator for this session, and it's really a pleasure to have you here. The Right to Information Act, enacted in 2005, has been a powerful tool for promoting transparency and accountability in government institutions. It empowers citizens to seek information and hold public authorities accountable. Today, we have with us Abhay Jain. Abhay is a lawyer and a graduate of National Law University, Odisha. He's the co-founder of Zenith Society for Socio-Legal Empowerment, a non-profit organization dedicated to grassroots legal empowerment of Sahariya Adivasi community in MP, India, and even beyond. Abhay provides vital legal services to these communities and various organizations. He has worked with Professor Sridhar Acharyulu, former CIC, and Rahul Singh, Information Commissioner of MP. So that's Abhay. Hello, Abhay. Please say hello. Everybody has been patiently waiting for you.
Hi, I'm sorry it took me some time to connect. Uh, and thank you for having me. I'm excited to speak to you all.
Yeah.
Should we directly dive in?
No, I'll give a little bit of an overview as to how the session is going to
All right.
proceed. So we'll start the session with Abhay giving us an overview of Right to Information Act and its significance, and then it will be followed by an interactive session where he'll guide us through the actual process that goes into, filing RTIs. Once that is done, we can open the floor for questions if you have. So yeah, without further ado, I think it's time now for Abhay. Please take over and let's proceed.
Thank you, Surbi. Um, so before proceeding, I would love to actually hear two things from all of you. The first part is just first to understand how many of you are comfortable with a mix of Hindi and English. Second, little bit about yourself as to your name, what are you currently working on, or what are you pursuing at the moment, and what is your learning expectation from this session. I'm sure that there is something that interests you about RTI, or there is some utility of RTI in the course of your work or in the course of your life. So would like to also understand that so that the session can be curated accordingly. Um, I can just nominate someone and they can just continue that process. Will that work well, Surbi? Is that okay?
Yes, I think that works fine. You can pick names randomly.
All right. So I'll go with Aryan.
Yes. So hello everyone, myself Aryan. I am a student of political science from University of Delhi, and this session I think it's a good opportunity since I'm in the learning stage. So RTI I have already studied about it, but from the perspective from the expert, I think I will be gaining more insights. So that's it.
Yeah. I would request everybody who is speaking to at least switch on their cameras because it is being recorded. So it will be nicer if you can switch on your camera. Yes. Sorry for interrupting in between, Abhay.
Aryan, if you could nominate someone, anyone from the group.
Gunjan Agarwal.
Hello, Gunjan, you can come forward and first introduce yourself and then let Abhay know what are your expectations from the session. What are
Hello
you?
everyone,
Yes.
are you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Gunjan. Go ahead.
Myself Gunjan Agarwal. I am from Jivaji University, BA LLB first year student, and I've to know more about RTI. I have here to listen something new.
Right. I can
Thanks.
also take names. If I could ask Richard to tell us what his expectations are from the session.
Hi guys, hi everyone. So I am unable to turn on my camera because I'm joined from my PC. Yeah, so I am a journalist with Deutsche Welle, and I am, of course, I've worked with Surbhi and the team. So yeah, so I don't have any expectations from this session, but I'm here to explore, and I'm here to know the possibility of at what extent RTI can actually help us in finding real stories, and of course finding new trends. So
Yeah. You should I ask more people, Abhay?
Yeah, let's have two, three more people, and then
Okay.
we can maybe.
Harshita?
Sorry, sorry, camera. I have allowed it, but still it's not turning on. It's a simple expectation. I just want to learn how to file an RTI. That's it.
Yeah.
Haven't explored it yet, so
Yeah,
it will be a new information for me.
right. And Najib?
Hello everyone, my name is Nazir Hussain and I am a student of journalism at Jamia Millia. And I RTI is in my course in my syllabus, and just I want to explore this thing and how to file RTI, and that's all.
Right. And Harsha?
One second. Hi, this is Harsha, a journalist from Hyderabad. I mean, it's the same with me as well. I just wanted to know if I can learn something new about RTIs. We've used it in our practice in Hyderabad. Um, I just thought if I can learn something new, let me learn it. So, yeah.
All right, lovely. I think, thank you, Surbhi. I think that is all I wanted to know just to take the session forward. Uh, I'll just share the. Is my screen visible?
It is, yes.
All right. Okay, so one thing before we dive into the presentation, um, a lot of the things that are mentioned here uh, are, I mean, these are just the pointers. This doesn't encapsulate the history of RTI per se. So, Shuruat, I would like to do with just giving you a context of what RTI is, how it came into existence, right? What is the before getting into the technical aspects of the law. So in our country, there was a long struggle that took place that started from Rajasthan though, but the struggle spread across the country where a lot of us might have heard of the name Aruna Roy, Nikhil Dey, Shankar Singh from the Mazdoor Kisan Shakti Sangathan, where there was actually this started with an issue. The RTI Act didn't come up on its own कि हाँ हमें जानकारी चाहिए, but it started as a fight wherein there was a dispute. I don't remember the year, somewhere between 1980 to 1990. There was an issue with respect to the minimum wages. that were paid by the panchayat for doing the Narega work. And the workers who were paid very less, they wanted to see the records. That we want to see in the records कि जहाँ पे आपने हमसे अंगूठा लगवाया है वहां पे कितना पैसा लिखा है. आपने हमें 1.5 रुपए दिए हैं, but what is the amount written over there? And the authorities responded that there is no provision that allows you to view the record or I mean access the records, or maybe procure the copies of the records. And that is how the the struggle started. That is how the struggle began. And after years, and there were a lot of slogans, there were a lot of songs, music that came out of this. One of the prominent one was "Hamara Paisa, Hamara Hisab." That this country is not being run by money coming from somewhere else, but it is people who are paying the taxes, people, and therefore people have the right to access all the records of how the money is being spent. And after a lot of, I mean, a decade of struggle, before we had the Freedom of Information Act. However, that act was not particularly suitable to the needs of the country, to the needs of the people. And therefore, after a lot of consultations, again, a lot of struggle, a lot of activists across the country played a vital role in making sure that in 2005, we get the Right to Information Act. तो एक संघर्ष के बाद वो कानून अपने पास आ गया कि हाउ कैन वी मे, एंड इट इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट ट्रांसपेरेंसी लॉज इन द वर्ल्ड. जिस तरीके से पूरा व्यवस्था बनाया गया है, except for the recent amendments that have come in 2018 or 19, except for that part, I think this is one of the best transparency laws that we have. So jumping, Derek, are you still able to see the PPT? No?
Yes, yes.
All right. So हिस्ट्री बेसिकली सिर्फ सुप्रीम कोर्ट से नहीं आई है. हिस्ट्री लोगों के संघर्ष की है कि कैसे लोगों ने संघर्ष किया और फाइनली दे वर एबल टू गेट दिस लॉ. However, I think in our country the संघर्ष doesn't end with having a law, but it starts with having the law. Now that you have the law, the another struggle was how to make sure that this law is properly implemented, how to make sure that the citizens of this country understand the law and are able to use the law. और थोड़ा और कॉन्टेक्स्ट देते हुए हमने देखा है कि आरटीआई से कैसे ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम बहुत सारे स्कैम्स हो गए, बहुत सारे जो अनियमितताएं हो गई, इरेगुलरिटीज, बहुत सारे issues of public interest were brought to light just because citizens were able to use RTI to get all of this information. Moving forward, but what is RTI? Right? कि मतलब एक्ट है क्या, हमें क्या इंफॉर्मेशन मिल सकती है, व्हाट इंफॉर्मेशन कैन नॉट बी गिवन, व्हाट इंफॉर्मेशन कैन बी गिवन, इनफैक्ट व्हाट इज इंफॉर्मेशन. गिवन दैट वी हैव इंफॉर्मेशन फ्लोइंग ऑन व्हाट्सएप एज वेल, अभी सरकार के व्हाट्सएप पे भी ग्रुप्स बने हुए हैं. गिवन दैट जो नए डेवलपमेंट्स आ गए, सो इंफॉर्मेशन इज not just limited to what we see on paper, but information is wide enough to be something on WhatsApp, or it could be just maybe a sample of cement. कि रोड डल रही है, will that cement be information? Can we also ask that under RTI? तो RTI एक्ट का बेसिक हिस्ट्री ये था, और अभी जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट है कि किस तरीके से लोगों ने उसको यूज किया है टू ब्रिंग आउट मैटर्स ऑफ पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट, टू ब्रिंग आउट कि देश में क्या चल रहा है, देश में किस तरीके की स्थिति है. एंड it is an excellent tool for setting accountability in the state. कि सिटीजन जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है उसमें एक चेक्स एंड बैलेंसेस का सिस्टम लागू किया गया है कि ऐसा नहीं है कि एनी pillar of the government or any pillar in the executive, legislature or judiciary has unbridled powers. It is everyone has powers and functions, but it is subject to checks and balances. Now, but what about the checks and balances by the citizens directly? Of course, it is happening through representatives and other people, but this is one of the tools through which citizens can directly seek accountability from the state, from their representatives. हमारे एमएलए हैं, there is एमएलए फंड. हमारे मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट है, there is एमपी फंड्स. There is एमपी लैड्स जिसको बोलते हैं, लोकल मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट लोकल एरिया डेवलपमेंट स्कीम. Now, where is all that money going, and what development works it is being spent? All of this you can get through RTI. So RTI is basically an act that allows you access to information from the public authorities. 2005 में 2005 में ये कानून आया था, और ये कानून में there is a structure, there is a mechanism through which one can access information. So here is where we need to understand two terms. First is what is information, and second is who is a public authority. है ना? तो whether I can be counted as a public authority, whether Newsreel Asia can be a public authority, or whether Zenith, the organization I work with, is a public authority. All of these questions is answered in the Act. Now, I don't want to, you can read the section, but basically telling you it is all records, documents, memos, email, advice, press release, everything that happens in a government department and that is on record, that constitutes information. For example, now you have a lot of communications happening on WhatsApp. सरकार ने खुद के ही ग्रुप्स बना रखे हैं अलग अलग व्हाट्सएप पे, जिसपे वो लोग सर्कुलर्स, लेटर्स, कम्युनिकेशंस करते हैं. दैट कम्स अंडर आरटीआई. ऑल डॉक्यूमेंट्स जो कि आपको मिलते हैं, दिखते हैं सरकारी विभाग में, दैट कम्स अंडर आरटीआई. एवरी डेटा सेट दैट इज in their system with respect to the affairs of their office or with the respect to affairs of their organization also comes under RTI. So I think I don't want to go into very much details, but information includes everything, है ना, जो कि आप मांग सकते हो किसी भी फॉर्म में, है ना. बट आप किससे मांगोगे is another question. Now, हम here is where public authority has been defined, है ना, कि public authority से आप RTI में information मांगोगे. अच्छा, one thing, if you have any doubt, if you have any comment, suggestion, you can just maybe put it on the chat or raise your hand, so we can take it up. तो coming to कि public authority कौन है, जिसको हम हिंदी में लोक प्राधिकारी बोलते हैं, कि आप किसके पास जाओगे. अच्छा, मुझे चाहिए अपने एमएलए ने कितना पैसा खर्च किया हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कि उन्होंने सड़क के ऊपर कितना पैसा खर्च किया. और लेट्स टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ ड्रेनेज, गिवन दैट व्हाट वी आर सीइंग इन दिल्ली एंड मेनी अदर प्लेसेस, दैट ड्रेनेज हैज बिकम अ बिग इशू. नाउ गिवन वी वांट टू आस्क कि अच्छा, आपने इस पर्टिकुलर क्षेत्र में, मुखर्जी नगर में, नालियों या ड्रेनेजेस या नाले के निर्माण में कितना पैसा एमसीडी ने खर्च किया, हाउ मच वाज एलोकेटेड, हाउ मच वाज सैंक्शनड, राइट. नाउ here is where we need to see who is the public authority. We can't go to Pradhan Mantri office and ask for drainage पे कितना पैसा खर्च हुआ. So here is where it is important to also identify who is a public authority concerned in the information that we are seeking, which is first understanding who is the public authority, and second level understanding what that public authority does. So public authority as defined in the Act, it says that anything which is established, controlled, managed by the government. Basically, public authority की अगर मैं basic definition बताऊं, तो सारे सरकारी विभाग and and the companies which are managed by the state government or the central government, they directly come under RTI. आप don't go for which are constituted by the law, which are notified. All universities come under RTI because they are made by the legislature के एक law के through. All sarkari offices, all departments and the sub departments under those departments, they are all under RTI. They are all public authorities basically. Now the tricky thing here is whether an organization like Zenith or an organization like Newsreel Asia whether they'll come under RTI or not. So the Act says if it is being controlled, managed, or substantially financed by the government, then it will come under RTI. यानी कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल एमपी में यह कानून है कि अगर किसी भी संस्था को विच इज जेनिथ सोसाइटी, ट्रस्ट और एनीथिंग, if they have received more than 50,000 from the government, either state government or the central government, then to that extent they will come under RTI. यानी कि उस 50,000 का हिसाब मुझसे कोई भी सिटीजन मांग सकता है, मुझसे यानी कि जेनिथ से। सिमिलरली अगर मध्य प्रदेश सरकार ने न्यूज रील एशिया को 1 लाख रुपए का कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया, any person can file RTI with Newsreel Asia with respect to that particular information, 1 लाख रुपए कहाँ पे कैसे खर्च हुआ, they have right to access all these records. So public authorities includes first all sarkari offices that come under state, all universities, all companies and subsidiaries that are managed by the state, substantially managed by the state or the central governments. By state, I mean central government, state government, any functionary of the state. And finally, it also includes organizations and NGOs like Zenith, who are substantially financed by either the state government or central government or any other functionary of the state. Now, given that कि हमें समझ आ गया कि पब्लिक अथॉरिटी कौन है, बट ऐसा नहीं है ना कि एक विभाग में एक ही ऑफिसर बैठता है, एक विभाग में 100, 500, 1000 लोग होते हैं. Now, who do we go to seek that information? We have understood what is the information. Sticking to the example of drainage in MCD, तो हमें पता लग गया हमें मुखर्जी नगर में whatever ward number that is, we want to understand how much amount has been spent, sanctioned, etc. And we want to go through all the documents related to the drainage work that has happened over there. And we have identified कि हमारा public authority कौन है? Municipal Corporation of Delhi, MCD, because they are the concerned agency. Now, Municipal Corporation of Delhi has thousands of employees. Who is responsible for providing the information? Now, the Act says that for every information that you seek, every department will have a public information officer and an assistant public information officer. In fact, the Act goes on to say that it is not just the department, but also if there is any sub-department, they will also have, for example, within the Municipal Corporation of Delhi, there is a health department, there is a water department, there is construction department. There are different departments within the Municipal Corporation of Delhi. For each department now, there will be separate public information officer or assistant public information officer, जो कि are responsible for receiving your application and providing you the information. Because you can't be running around the office asking कि ये वाला document किसके पास मिलेगा. There is a designated officer and their contact has to be publicly displayed. वहाँ पे एक banner लगा होना चाहिए. The website पे भी there is information that you will see wherein they share information that this is the public information officer who you can write to for seeking the information. Now, what is the process? हमें पता लग गया कि हाँ हमें ये इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए, हमें पता लग गया कि हमें इंफॉर्मेशन कहाँ से मिलेगी, हमें ये भी पता लग गया हमें इंफॉर्मेशन किस पर्टिकुलर पर्सन से मिलेगी. नाउ द प्रोसेस फर्दर स्टार्ट्स दैट कि अब आगे हमारा रोल क्या है. सो द एक्ट सेज यू हैव टू जस्ट मेक अ सिंपल एप्लीकेशन saying that this is the information you seek. In the last part, we'll be dealing with do's and don'ts as to कि you cannot ask कि for example कि Municipal Corporation of Delhi ने कितना पैसा खर्च किया drainages पे. It cannot be in a question format. Rather, you have to ask for documents. So the RTA Act says the state is not supposed to answer your queries, actually. The state is supposed to provide you the records as they maintain it, as the department maintains it. the state do not have the bandwidth, resources, capacity to create records for you or to analyze the information and give it to you. तो आपको क्या करना है, आपको exactly ये पूछना है कि for example, for the year 2020 till date, how much amount has been sanctioned, allotted for a particular, you ask for a particular lane in that particular ward, how much amount has been spent or sanctioned. So that application, you have to give it to the public information officer. What happens after that is the public information officer takes that application and then they have to respond within 30 days of receipt of the application, which means that if you give it today on 3rd of August, by 3rd of September, the public information officer is duty bound, is obligated by law to respond to you and tell you how that information can be procured. A lot of times that happens, a lot of time that doesn't happen. But we'll discuss it in आगे का slides as to what we can do in that case. Sometimes the information pertains to the life and liberty of a person. For example, now this is based on the rulings of the Central Information Commission, Supreme Court and High Court as well. Life and liberty means मेरे को pension नहीं मिल रहा है. I'm a senior citizen. I have no other source of income other than my pension. Now, I file an RTI after filing applications, various representations and complaints in the particular department. I finally have to file an RTI application asking for what happened to my representation or the complaints. मैंने इतनी शिकायतें करी, उस पर क्या कार्रवाई हुई है? In that case, given that it directly pertains to the life and liberty of a person, that they won't be able to sustain themselves if they don't receive that pension, in those matters, और फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने सीसीटीवी फुटेज मांगा किसी को थाने पे, पुलिस थाने पे illegally detain करके रखा है, there is case of illegal detention, you can ask for that CCTV footage and mention that this is a life and liberty situation where the information is required supposed to be given within 48 hours. I'm skipping the information. Yes. Let's come to the first appeal part. So, अब आपने RTI लगाया public information officer के पास. I will share the formats on email. I'll share the presentation as well. आपने अपना application जमा किया. It has to be a simple application. Just write to the public information officer. Subject is information under RTI Act, date, and then just mention the information that you require. Suppose that you do not receive the information within 30 days. What after that? If you do not receive the information within 30 days, there is a process by which you can make an appeal to the higher officer, the officer at a higher rank in that particular department. So usually it is commissioner or additional commissioner or assistant commissioner. You can easily get the details. For most departments, you can get the details on the website as to who is the first appellate authority in the present matter. So the process of filing first appeal is if you do not receive your information within 30 days, or if you do not receive reply from the public information officer within 30 days, you can directly file a first appeal with the higher authority in the same department after the expiry of 30 days. So for example, by 3rd of September, I do not receive the information. What do I need to do? Then before 3rd of October, which means within 1 month, within 30 days, I have to file first appeal. And that first appeal will be heard properly. You will get the opportunity of defending yourself as to whether क्यों information नहीं दी नीचे वाले अधिकारी ने, क्या कारण थे. You can tell why do you need that information. अच्छा, एक चीज RTI में बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, and this is a very I wouldn't say peculiar thing, but a very thoughtful process through which these provisions were incorporated. RTI में कोई आपसे आपकी पर्सनल जानकारी नहीं मांग सकता. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप RTI एप्लीकेशन लेके गए डिपार्टमेंट में, two things that they cannot ask. First, you only need to give the information necessary for contacting you. तो मैंने बोला कि ठीक है, अभय के नाम पे आरटीआई है, I can give my phone number or I can give my address, but I don't need to give any personal details, right? They don't need to know मैं किस कास्ट से हूँ, they don't need to know मैं किस जेंडर से हूँ, they don't need to know. RTA Act very clearly under section 6 prohibits कि आप ये सब किसी से नहीं पूछ सकते हो, which means the department cannot ask you कि अच्छा आप कहाँ पे रहते हो. They can only ask you that much information which is necessary for contacting you. They cannot ask for any information beyond that. तो अगर वो पूछते हैं अच्छा आप क्या करते हो, किस जात से हो, these are usually questions you might face at the local level, है ना? So RTA Act under section 6 clearly says no one can ask you that. Second, no one can ask you the purpose behind filing RTA application कि आपको ये जानकारी क्यों चाहिए ये information, क्या करोगे इस जानकारी का. Under section 6, the public authority, the department cannot ask you कि आपको वो information क्यों चाहिए, आप उस information का क्या करोगे, या फिर आप कहाँ से हो, आप क्या करते हो. ये याद रखना क्योंकि ये होगा whenever you file it. It will happen, particularly when you go to file it physically, not in cases when you file it online. So yeah, आपने आरटीआई लगाई, अगर ये सब पूछा तो उसको बोल देना सेक्शन 6, या फिर ये बोलना आरटीआई में ये सब बताने की जरूरत हमें नहीं है. या फिर द ट्रिक इज उनको बोलो कि कैन यू जस्ट गिव इट इन राइटिंग दैट यू वांट ऑल ऑफ दिस इंफॉर्मेशन, आई विल आल्सो गिव इट टू यू इन राइटिंग कि दिस इज द इंफॉर्मेशन. So we'll discuss the tricks in the interactions. So हमने फर्स्ट अपील लगाया, हो सकता है फर्स्ट अपील में हमें इंफॉर्मेशन मिल जाए, बट हो सकता है फर्स्ट अपील में इंफॉर्मेशन ना मिले, या फिर अगर मिल भी गई तो वी आर नॉट सेटिस्फाइड विद दैट इंफॉर्मेशन, और दैट इज नॉट द इंफॉर्मेशन दैट वी वांटेड. उन्होंने कुछ और ही इंफॉर्मेशन दे दी हमें, हमने ड्रेनेज की इंफॉर्मेशन मांगी, उन्होंने हमें सड़क की इंफॉर्मेशन दे दी. So in all of those cases, then you can file a second appeal. A second appeal is filed with the Central Information Commission or the State Information Commission. अगर मान लीजिए कि आपने आरटीआई किसी भी केंद्र सरकार या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट में लगाई है, then your second appeal will go to Central Information Commission, which is केंद्रीय सूचना आयोग. But अगर आपकी आरटीआई pertains to the department of the state government, देन आपको जो सेकंड अपील है वो लगानी रहेगी स्टेट इंफॉर्मेशन कमीशन में. नाउ द टाइमलाइन फॉर फाइलिंग द सेकंड अपील इज 90 days. तो मान लो कि फर्स्ट अपील हमने लगा दी 25 सितंबर तक, राइट? 25 सितंबर से अगर मान लो फर्स्ट अपील का डिसीजन आ गया हमें 25 सितंबर को, वी फाइल्ड इट ऑन 25 सितंबर, and then 25th October तक. So first appeal is to be disposed within 45 days, है ना? I'll share the detailed timeline with you, but it has to be disposed within 45 days. तो फर्स्ट अपील जैसे ही आपकी खत्म हो जाती है, या फिर फर्स्ट अपील में आपको कोई रिप्लाई नहीं आया 30 days तक, देन यू कैन डायरेक्टली फाइल सेकेंड अपील. और अगर रिप्लाई आ गया तो जिस दिन से रिप्लाई आया उसके 90 days में. तो वट एवर इज द टाइमलाइन, 90 days के अंदर फर्स्ट अपील के बाद आपको सेकेंड अपील लगानी है, and it will go to CIC or with the SIC. For the Central Information Commission, we have a direct online filing. For the State Information Commission, it differs from state to state. Any doubt till now?
जो स्टेट और सेंट्रल वाला बताया था, if you could please repeat.
Right. तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल मेरे को चाहिए मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट ने कहाँ पे पैसा खर्च किया. दैट इज विद मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ स्टैटिस्टिक्स एंड प्लानिंग, because that data is not maintained by the state government, that data is maintained by the central government. Now the RTI will go to the central government, the first appeal will go to the central government, the same ministry, and ministry may be empty lads department which is handling that member of parliament ka fund ka data. And the second appeal will go to Central Information Commission because Ministry of Statistics and Planning is the department of central government. Similarly, if I want to do it with MLA, it will go to the same department but within the state because the central government doesn't keep records of the same. It is within the function of the state कि MLAs को जो पैसा मिलता है डेवलपमेंट के लिए वो कहाँ खर्च होगा. So it will again go to जो भी Ministry of Statistics and Planning. This is called different. It has different names in different states. तो वहां से फिर you will get that information, right? Similarly, let's take another example.
And then state में ही अगर second appeal file करनी हो
Then it will go to State Information Commission. तो अगर आपको MLA का इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं दिया गया, फर्स्ट अपेलेट ने भी नहीं दिया, फर्स्ट अपील में भी आपको नहीं मिला, देन इट विल गो टू मध्य प्रदेश स्टेट इंफॉर्मेशन कमीशन.
Sir, can I ask one thing?
Yes, please.
Sir, suppose if the work done by multiple departments, so to whom we need to approach to get the information?
This is a very interesting question actually. तो मल्टीपल डिपार्टमेंट्स हो सकते हैं बट काम एक ही एजेंसी करती है, बट देयर आर सम इश्यूज इन विच मल्टीपल डिपार्टमेंट्स आर इन्वॉल्व्ड. However, in most of the cases, there is always a nodal agency who is coordinating between all those departments. For example, I'll give you an example. In one of the cases that we were doing in NGT, so they formed a committee because the documents were with different authorities. So they made collector part of the committee. They made pollution control board the part of the committee. They made the wetland authority a part of the committee. Ministry of Environment को भी उन्होंने उस committee में डाल दिया. अब 5-6 departments उस committee में है. Now each department has their own set of records. Collector has the land records. Ministry of Environment has other records. Pollution control board has pollution related records कि हाँ water bodies का pH level क्या है, BOD, COD क्या है, whatever. So all of those reports different departments have. But what happens is in this particular matter, pollution control board was the nodal agency. So you have to catch hold of the nodal agency. Now, one approach is that. Second approach, RTI Act very clearly says कि if you file it, for example, you file an information with the collector office. Part of the information is with the collector office. Rest of the information is with the pollution control board. RTI Act talks about severability, which says कि जितना information I have, I'll give that information. Rest of the information which I do not have, I am supposed to transfer that application to the particular department, asking them that, see, this concerns you, you have the information, please provide it to the applicant. And when they're transferring that application, they will send a copy to you. So Rakesh, वो आपको एक कॉपी देंगे कि देखो हमारे पास 1 से लेके 10 पॉइंट की जानकारी थी, 11 से लेके 20 की जानकारी is with another department, Y department. So we have forwarded that part of the information that you require जो उनके पास है to them for them to respond to you. So these are the two ways which you can go about it in case when there are multiple departments involved.
Thank you, sir.
I think Jyoti had a.
So yeah, even I wanted to know about like as citizens, how can we make sure कि हम सही department में RTI file कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि काफी एक depth of understanding भी चाहिए how things work in government, as he said, like अगर एक ही information के लिए multiple departments involved है, so how can we make sure that we are filing an RTI to the right department, and like what happens when जब आप सही department से information access नहीं कर रहे, तो उस केस में फिर मतलब वो process में भी और time लगता होगा, तो what is the process when you go wrong there as a citizen?
ज्योति, आई थिंक इसके लिए मतलब मेरे पास जवाब है, लेकिन आई थिंक कि द बेस्ट आंसर टू इट इज कॉन्टेक्स्ट. Given the context in geographical context and the political context in which you're operating, things will differ. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप एक म्युनिसिपल एरिया में काम कर रहे हो, है ना, that will have to be filed physically in the municipal council का office, because at none of the municipal councils in Madhya Pradesh or corporations have online RTI filing system. So either you have to post it or you go physically to file it. अब the doubt कि कौन सा department concerned है, that is a research that you need to do, a basic research, which you can understand from the problem that you have or from the information that you require. When it comes to governance, street light, pani, sadak, there is a particular department which is municipal council, corporation, nagar palika, nagar parishad, nagar nigam, depending on the area. If it is electricity wala issue, then a particular department is there for the same. अगर environment issue है तो so I think that basic research needs to be done. You can do basic Google searches, तो तुम्हें पता लग जाएगा कौन सा department concerned है. Once you figure out the department, I think कि वो एक initial struggle all of you will have to go through कि अगर central government department है कोई issue नहीं है, आपका RTI online लग जाएगा. But अगर state government का department है, most states do not have online filing system yet, and that will be a challenge for you. And it is a challenge for all of the citizens actually to procure or to get that information. But there are portals. I'll share one number with you in which you can ask certain queries that you have with respect to RTI. This was a helpline set up by the MP, State Information Commissioner Rahul Singh. And he vacated the office recently. His tenure was over, but that number is still functional. So he directly can give you advice, suggestion whenever you're filing RTI or if you're facing any problems in identifying the particular department with which RTI is to be filed. Does that answer your query?
Yes, yes, thank you. Yes, and I'm just interested to know the general know-hows of how you approach, to filing an RTI. So, and in cases where you file the RTI with the wrong department, then how does it work? Are you notified from the other end that you have to, get in touch with this department, that's one department, or yeah?
So the ideal process, I would say the legal process should be if you file RTI in a department that does not have the information, but some other department has it. So the act clearly says that the particular department in which you have filed the RTI is supposed to transfer it to the concerned department within 5 days of receipt of RTI. However, if they have to notify you of the same. Generally, they do it, but there are places where they don't do it. In that case, usually they inform you कि see, this information doesn't concern us, and therefore we cannot provide you the information. So I think again, it will depend on the context, but the legal process is this, that either they will transfer it or they will reply to you, see, this information doesn't concern us, or it's not maintained by us and it is maintained by so and so department. So you may rather file RTI there. So again, if they do not transfer it, then you can approach the Central Information Commission or the State Information Commission, as the case may be, whether it concerns the central government or the state government. And so the commission can then look into it.
However, irrespective of which department I file in, I can be assured of a response.
Yes, mostly
how
yes.
To proceed further. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mostly, I think I can assure you, like 90% response is at least something you'll get. Maybe not the information.
Yeah, even I had a question. Like so many laws in India, some loopholes or the other are always left. So, is there something in the RTI also? Ki there's some loopholes which can be, misused.
I think अभी जो है काफी चर्चा इस बारे में चल रही है, जैसे हर कोई ये बोलता है कि आरटीआई कानून का मिसयूज हो रहा है. It has become a tool for blackmailing. It has become a tool for I mean there is a lot of misuse कि बस उससे blackmail किया जाता है officers को. It has become a new game. So at the local level, at the state level, I'm seeing there's a lot of talk about it, particularly, of course, in the bureaucracy, given that they have to deal with RTI applications. So So,
Sir,
responding
can
to
you share
that,
one example how this act will misuse?
Yeah,
um, I'll give you a recent example in a case that we were dealing with. We filed an RTI, we filed a RTI application. So there was a panchayat where the panchayat secretary engaged school children in Manrega work. And he even went to the extent of transferring the money in the accounts of these school children. And these all school children happen to be from scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. We filed RTI, um, that give us this information. We want to see all of those records. And from that point onwards, we have been getting calls, everything from them ki हाँ मतलब if let's do some settlement, let's do some compromise, and let's do all of this. So here you can see that if I want, I can use it as a tool to blackmail, maybe mint some money, or maybe get a few works done. Similarly, there is no department which is following all the laws 100%.
right. So my
There are
question,
always loopholes in the
yeah,
processes that they follow.
Sir,
System
does
में
this
corruption है, and people then just used to get their personal interests served. तो मुझे पता लगा कि this collector before getting transferred, he made sure that some of the land belonging to the Adivasi tribals is diverted to non-tribals, which cannot happen with the permission of DM. But he did it, violating the conditions. Now, if I get to know about it, I file RTI, and once I have identified it, I contact the collector. See, now I also want the land. Now you make sure this land is also transferred. For example, here there is a trend for gun licenses as well. So I want a gun license. The DM is the one who sanctions it. So does that answer it, Rakesh?
yes, sir. Sir, I want to ask another thing.
Yes. I'll just also respond shortly to Surbhi's query of the loopholes of the Act.
Yes, sir.
So the
So,
one, sorry, Rakesh, I'll just respond to Surbhi ka wala query and get back to you.
okay, yeah, sure.
So जो सुरभि का सवाल था वो ये था कि इस लॉ में कोई लूप होल्स हैं क्या? Definitely loopholes हैं, particularly after the recent amendments. The powers of Central Information Commission and State Information Commission have been reduced. Previously, they had powers at par with the Election Commissioner of India. Now they have powers at par with the Cabinet Secretary. Now, how does it matter? If I have power with the of Election Commissioner is a constitutional post. If I have those many powers, I can summon anyone in my office. I can ask any official from the office of Prime Minister to the office of Panchayat. ऊपर से लेके नीचे तक, I can summon and call anyone before my court. But if I do not have those many powers, अगर मैं cabinet secretary के rank का हूँ, I myself am under the Prime Minister. How can I summon the office? You get it? मैं as an officer or as a commissioner, I can only summon, या मैं किसी को तभी बुला सकता हूँ जब वो मेरे पावर के अंडर आता है, मेरे हायरार्की में मेरे से नीचे आता है. I cannot call anyone who is at par with my hierarchy or above me. I cannot call a Supreme Court judge, for example. Why? Because that is the powers are different.
right.
तो अमेंडमेंट्स के बाद कमिश्नर्स की पावर बहुत कम कर दी है, जो कि एक बहुत बड़ा लूप होल है. एक्ट लूप होल तो नहीं कहूंगा मैं, इट्स अ रिग्रेसिव अमेंडमेंट, नॉट अ प्रोग्रेसिव अमेंडमेंट. सेकंड जो लूप होल है वो है अभी जो डेटा प्राइवेसी लॉज आए हैं उसको लेके. आई विल गेट इनटू डिटेल्स लेटर. तीसरा जो मुझे लगता है द एक्सेप्शन क्लॉज, कि व्हाट इंफॉर्मेशन कैन नॉट बी गिवन ऑन आरटीआई. तो सेक्शन 8 ऑफ द एक्ट टॉक्स अबाउट कि आपको क्या क्या इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं दी जाएगी, विच इज प्राइवेट पर्सनल इंफॉर्मेशन. आप मेरा आधार कार्ड नहीं मांग सकते हो. सेकेंड इज एनी इंफॉर्मेशन दैट अफेक्ट्स द सोवर्निटी, सिक्योरिटी, इंटरेस्ट एक्सेट्रा ऑफ इंडिया. जैसे अभी मध्य प्रदेश सरकार ने ये बोला कि हम आपको चीता का डेटा नहीं देंगे. चीता का जो चीता शिवपुरी में लेके आए हैं उसका हेल्थ डेटा नहीं देंगे, बिकॉज दैट इज अ मैटर ऑफ नेशनल सिक्योरिटी. Now that is a loophole in the act. What is the national security has not been defined. What is personal information has not been defined. These are some loopholes. that are being used by public authorities to deny information. However, RTI में जो एक चीज याद रखनी है वो है doctrine of public interest. Act very clearly says, even in the exception clause, कि भले ही ये information आपको नहीं दी जा सकती, but if it is in public interest, it can be given. If it can be given to Lok Sabha, I mean the parliament and the state legislature, it can be given. So these are the exceptions to the exceptions. तो सेक्शन 8 में ये बोला है पर्सनल इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं दे सकते, लेकिन पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट है तो दे सकते हो इफ देयर इज अ लार्जर पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट दैट वारंट्स डिस्क्लोजर ऑफ दैट इंफॉर्मेशन. फॉर एग्जांपल, फर्जी नियुक्ति हुई है, लोगों ने बहुत ही फर्जी कागज लगा के अपनी नियुक्तियां ले ली. नाउ इफ यू डू नॉट गेट दैट इंफॉर्मेशन, बिकॉज नियुक्ति में जो कागज लगते हैं तो पर्सनल इंफॉर्मेशन, मेरी मार्कशीट्स, मेरे आधार कार्ड, ऑल अदर डॉक्यूमेंट्स, according to section 8 you will not get it. But given that the larger public interest is involved, that information can be given. सिमिलरली सेक्शन 8 में बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें जो नहीं दी जा सकती, आर्मी रिलेटेड, जो भी मिलिट्री एंड पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेस है उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन आप नहीं मांग सकते. हाउएवर अगेन देयर इज एक्सेप्शन. इट सेज कि अगर ह्यूमन राइट्स वायलेशन है और करप्शन का इशू है, यू कैन आस्क फॉर इट. सो या, आई थिंक that is some clarity. Rakesh, you had a doubt, sorry.
Yes, sir. Sir, does this act only misused by public authorities, or people, so like sometimes people can also misuse this act? And another doubt, sir, I will ask later. I'm not able to recall now. I will ask later.
I think misuse तो कोई भी कर सकता है. It depends. So the interesting thing, while I was working with the Rahul Singh, who was State Information Commissioner of Madhya Pradesh, we found that at least like more than 40% of the RTIs were filed by the people from the government department only, who had some grievances within their department or with other departments. So first thing is कि ऐसा नहीं है RTI is only being used by people who are not in the government. RTI is equally being used by people who are in the government and are not satisfied with the services of government, or are not satisfied or have grievance against how the government is functioning. Second, with respect to misuse, I think misuse तो हर कानून का हो रहा है और हर कोई जो कर सकता है वो कर रहा है. Whoever can do it is doing it. It is just about the moral compass. So I think I cannot tell you who is misusing it more, whether the government is misusing more or the people are misusing it more. But I think that number is fairly low.
Maybe.
Sir,
And
I'll just finish. One of the logic that was given to me by one of the information commissioners was कि misuse तो तब होता है ना तब कुछ गलत हुआ है. If I have not done anything wrong, how will you be able to blackmail me? How can you even do anything about that RTI? You take all the information from me. I have not done anything wrong. So misuse is happening because there are flaws in the system, because there are corrupt practices, and those corrupt practices are documented. Yeah, Rakesh, sorry.
Sir, if the institutions or any authorities like companies was with partner with private, suppose public-private partnership. So to whom we need to ask the information about that particular company or institution? Then like the government will be responsible or private authority only to give the information?
Okay, let me give you an example. We have a lot of private schools. All private schools are NGOs. None of the private school is a company, for-profit company. All private schools are either trust or non-profit company or societies. And they are registered with the education department of the particular state government or with the different boards. But usually the registration takes place to the education department. So you cannot ask for information from the school because they do not directly come under RTI. But you can ask the information from the education department, asking for फॉर एग्जाम्पल इस स्कूल में कितने बच्चे हैं, how many of them are receiving the entitlements under the Right to Education Act, in which like 25% of the students are supposed to get fee waiver. Similarly, when it comes to PPP, public-private partnerships, the company or the partnership firm or the thekedar, basically the contractor, will not give you the information. The particular department who has engaged them and is making their payments, क्योंकि मेरे को सड़क डालने का ठेका दिया, नगर, फॉर एग्जाम्पल म्युनिसिपल काउंसिल ऑफ म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन दिल्ली फ्लोटेड टेंडर्स टू मेक ड्रेनेजेस नाउ, ड्रेनेज बनाने के लिए उन्होंने 2 करोड़ का ठेका निकाला, एंड आई एज अ फर्म और अ कंपनी आई अप्लाइड फॉर दैट ठेका, and I said, okay, I'll construct these, and the monitoring and evaluation and all everything is done by MCD. The payment is also done in phases by MCD. So in this case, in this kind of partnership, you can ask for the information from the particular department and not the company or the contractor or the partnership firm.
Yeah, before we proceed, I would request everybody to raise their hands before asking questions. Yeah. Okay, please continue, Abhay.
Okay, moving forward, हम अपने, I think you can see the powers and functions of the Central Information Commission or the Information Commission. तो हम लोग सेकेंड अपील पे आ गए थे कि हाँ, आरटीआई क्या है, व्हाट इज इंफॉर्मेशन, हु इज अ public authority maybe, who is responsible for taking our application, then what is the process of filing RTI, हम कैसे application देंगे, कोई हमसे हमारी पर्सनल इंफॉर्मेशन मांग सकता है क्या, कोई हमसे पूछ सकता है why are you filing it, whether they can ask the purpose behind filing RTI. Then we discussed little bit about how to file first appeal and where to file first appeal. Then we discussed little bit about how to file second appeal, where to file second appeal. Then we discussed the role of CIC, Central Information Commission, and the State Information Commission. Now, what are their powers? Again, it is like a court. आपने जो भी department है, they can call the particular officer, they can call any officer in that department. Why then, but particularly the public information officer, because that is the person who was supposed to get you the information. They can ask them to provide the information. They can ask to give compensation to you. They can order a lot of things. One thing that they can do is they can penalize the public information officer and also recommend departmental proceedings, disciplinary proceedings against them. So these are broadly the powers and functions of CIC, जिसके पास आप second appeal लेके जा सकते हो, or you can also directly complain it to them. So you can register a complaint with them and send it over. We have discussed the appellate authorities under the Act. So the first appellate authority जिसके पास आपकी first appeal जाएगी, SIC and CIC. We have discussed about information that is exempted from disclosure. कि कौन कौन से information जो है देने की जरूरत नहीं है RTI में. But as we discussed, if it is in public interest, if it is in larger public interest, if it can be given to the state legislature, parliament, it can be given under RTI. So even these exceptions would not apply in the cases of public interest. इसमें ना एक thing has been missing, and let me discuss about that. So RTI Act में there is a very interesting provision called Section 4. Now Section 4 talks about suo motu disclosure. हमें क्यों लगानी पड़ रही है RTI? Why shouldn't government be obligated to disclose most of the information on its own? Why do citizens have to even file RTI for small basic things? And that is where Section 4 comes into play. Section 4 very clearly, specifically states that within 120 days of enactment of this Act, and as soon as you have the technology, the Act clearly states that you have to provide all of this information suo motu on your website and in your department. So they are supposed to prepare a 17, I'll show you one of the websites actually. I'll share the screen. So the Act very clearly states that आपको वो directory upload करनी है, not directory, actually manual. मैनुअल में क्या क्या होगा? मैनुअल में होगा कि व्हाट डज द डिपार्टमेंट डू, कौन ऑफिसर किस चीज के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, डिपार्टमेंट में क्या क्या काम होते हैं, कितना बजट है डिपार्टमेंट का, किस ऑफिसर को कितना पैसा मिलता है, क्या सर्कुलर्स हैं. That 17-point manual is an exhaustive, you can say, summary of what the department does and who in the department does what. Who is paid how much? किसने कहाँ ट्रैवल किया, किसके विदेश ट्रिप्स, फॉरेन ट्रिप्स कहाँ पे हुए. So all of this is part of section 4, जिसमें suo motu disclosure की बात हुई है, which is proactive disclosure, which is like you have to provide the information irrespectively. Let me actually stop sharing the slides. Do's and don'ts we can discuss, but let me show you how it looks on the website. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So now I have opened the website of Ministry of Women and Child Development. Can you see the RTI section here? All right. So let me go to the RTI section. So can you see here is where they have provided all the information as to who is working where. Just minimize it. सबको दिख रहा है कि किसका नाम, डेजिग्नेशन, एड्रेस, ईमेल आईडी और किसका क्या काम है.
Yes, yes.
And these are the officers. CPIOs means Central Public Information Officers. These are the details of First Appellate Authority, जिसके पास हम बाद में जाएंगे, but पहले we have to reach them out, these people. But you can see that how where you can contact for what thing, depending on what information you require. Right, moving forward, let me also, I hope this is not the act, but the manual. No, they have not. Uh, in case if any department is not maintaining these records, you can actually file a complaint against that department that they have not uploaded the manual. Or you can take it up with the concerned public information officer saying that your RTI manual is not here, which discloses who does what. Give me name of some other ministry, central government.
Minority affairs.
Are you able to still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, let's see where RTI is. Okay, can you see proactive disclosure?
Hmm.
Can you see here all the options?
Yes, yes.
So if you want, I can go through some of these, but these are all the things that they give you proactively and they're supposed to give you. कैसे पूरा office चलता है, and here is where you can lodge your complaint, submit your second appeal. Now, these are the name of कि आपको किससे जानकारी मांगना है. For example, मदरसा education के लिए this is the person. So depending on what exactly information are you seeking, you can कि वाक बोर्ड की information चाहिए या जिसका भी चाहिए, right? अगर कोई doubts हैं तो बताइए. I would like to move on to the next part of it, which is I'll show you how to actually file the application. किसी के कोई भी doubts, suggestions, comments, anything?
I think we can move ahead.
We'll move ahead.
Yes.
All right. So this portal that I'm showing you is for all central government departments. Now you can either log in. I usually do not, but you can also do that. Log in and then file. Okay. I really like this portal because the way they have designed it is very citizen friendly. At the same time, you get all updates on email. So I want one of you to tell me a RTI query that you have with any central government department, and I'll file it. These are some of the things that I want to tell you, but not very relevant actually. कि आपको रुपे कार्ड से करना है, आपको SMS अलर्ट मिलेगा अगर आप मोबाइल नंबर दोगे तो, and all of that.
I can go. I don't know if it's the appropriate question, but let me just shoot. I did a story recently from Kashmir, है ना? So there have been, it's about issue of electricity. There have been arbitrary rise in the cost of electricity for people there, and लोगों को understanding नहीं है कि किस हिसाब से उनका बिल इतना आ रहा है, per unit charges कितने हैं, क्या है, बहुत arbitrarily rise हुआ है सब कुछ. So if I want to know मतलब किस एरिया में, और कुछ एरिया में वहां पर स्मार्ट मीटर्स हैं जिसमें कॉस्ट ज्यादा आता है पर यूनिट और कुछ एरियाज में नहीं है. So if I want to know the state, how the state is charging people for electricity there, then how can I go about it?
Jyoti, I'm sorry, but that has to be filed with the state government.
Yeah, okay, not, of course, not the center government.
Yeah, जैसे for example, ये रहा central government के departments. Let's actually see if you want to ask anyone anything. Cabinet Secretariat, CAG, these are the different departments. Finance, Economic Affairs, Defense. कुछ भी सवाल पूछना है बताओ. Let us just.
Yes, I have a question. So I was reading somewhere कि contractual work बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ता जा रहा है गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स में, है ना? तो if we take for example railways and ask them कि how have the number of contractual workers increased and the number of permanent employees decreased, and if that, what is the proportion? And yeah.
All right. So I selected Ministry of Railways. Did you see? मतलब out of all the agencies, this was the concerned department. So, हाँ गया.
One question, sorry. अगर जैसे आधार कार्ड से related कुछ पूछना हो तो do we have a department for this?
Yes, I am not sure UIDAI किसके अंदर आता है, but if you can just see and let me know कि जो यूनिक आइडेंटिफिकेशन जो अथॉरिटी बनाई है उन्होंने, वो किस डिपार्टमेंट के अंडर आती है. दिस इज, आई एम श्योर दे आर सम अंडर सम मिनिस्ट्री ओनली. सो आई विल टेल यू हाउ इट हैपेंस. नाउ मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रेलवेज में जैसे ही मैं गया तो नाउ देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स. Right, now I need to figure out within this, who would be responsible for the query, because right. So similarly, when you talk about UIDAI, वो हमें देखना पड़ेगा किस मिनिस्ट्री में आता है. Once you put the ministry here, they will give us all the list of departments under them. Right. So maybe let us see maybe all of you can look and suggest. मेरे को भी इतना
I think
exactly.
एक किसी भी डिपार्टमेंट से ही अगर जवाब मिल गया ना तो वी विल हैव सम आइडिया एज टू व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. तो सेंट्रल रेलवे जो लिखा हुआ था उसमें मे बी वी कुड इफ.
That means Central Railway, the central area, region wise.
अच्छा अच्छा वैसे ओके ओके. या देन एनी
I
डिपार्टमेंट
selected ministry
मिनिस्ट्री.
again
ओके ओके.
because this is a information which is supposed to be maintained at the ministerial level rather than, department तो अपना अपना रखेंगे सिर्फ.
ठीक है ठीक है.
I'll put my email ID or any of yours.
You can put mine. surabhi@newsreel.asia.
सही है? Should I put your phone number?
Yes, you can put it. 7479.
कांटेक्ट करने के लिए जरूरी है.
हाँ तो you can remove my number also.
Sure.
Okay, ठीक है. No, it's okay.
This is just for the demo, so
Yes.
you can ask them to remove this also.
अच्छा.
And they don't need this. Yes, address.
8262. I'm disclosing all my information.
You can just write it and send it to me maybe.
No, I think it's all right. A262, Sector 31, Noida.
You can actually write office's address that is already public.
Yeah, I think that would be good. 1232, Sector 37.
Sorry, what?
1232. 1232. Sector 37. Arun Vihar. Before Sector 37, Arun Vihar, and then Noida.
Do we have to put the address that we have on Aadhaar card, or we can put the current?
No. Just the address where you want the information.
Okay.
Sector 37 Noida, right?
Yes.
Pin code you have?
20130.
201303.
UP, no?
Yes.
Sadly.
I think we have already given the phone number, so let's skip it here. This is all not necessary. Citizenship, no. If you are below poverty line, there will be no charge for filing RTI.
Acha.
So that is a mandatory thing here.
So if you are, say, if a person is below poverty line, what do they have to give as a proof?
BPL card number.
BPL
or maybe
card.
copy of the BPL card.
Okay.
और ऐसे कितने, how much do we have to pay?
10 rupees.
10 rupees, okay.
Now, what do you want details pertaining to the
number of actual workers, permanent employees, and contractual workers in the last 10 years, say, or 10 साल का ही चाहिए.
Now, it doesn't have to be in a question format. It has to be in a format where you're asking for information or documents. अगर आपने क्वेश्चन फॉर्मेट मांग लिया तो यूजुअली दे रिप्लाई कि वैसे यहाँ पे मध्य प्रदेश में बोलते हैं ये प्रश्नात्मक जानकारी है. ये क्वेश्चन फॉर्मेट में वी वोंट बी गिविंग इट टू यू. Now that is if you have any supporting document, a news clipping, anything, you can attach it here.
Okay.
And let's move forward.
One question.
Yes.
So we cannot write a question in the.
You can write a question, but without the question mark. It doesn't have to be in the question format. मतलब ये भी मैंने पूछा कि documents दे दो, but it's not in question format. So
Okay, and if we can correct engaged in the Indian Railways. So if we in the description, workers engaged in the Indian Railways. So if we say Indian Railways, वो सारे department का
Exactly.
information देंगे, मतलब
इंडियन
जैसे
रेलवेज में सारे डिपार्टमेंट्स, ठीक है।
okay.
आई एम गोइंग फॉरवर्ड, ये आपका आरटीआई फाइल हो गया। आर यू श्योर यू वांट टू सबमिट?
10 रुपए तो हमको दिए ही नहीं।
ठीक है।
अब आएगा।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है।
You will have to pay from Surbis and
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I think because maybe I'm sharing the screen, I'm not able to go to the payment link. But here you can make Google Pay anything. But
Yeah,
uh,
we understood the idea.
we can do another demo if you want. एक और RTI लगा सकते हैं हम. Let me see if I can just like actually file it and
It's actually quite fun.
yeah,
एक
interesting.
और करना है, फिर we can just wrap up.
Yes, we can do it if we have any question or query that.
हाँ, अगर किसी का है सवाल तो फिर otherwise.
Yeah. It's quite easy. क्योंकि हमें पता नहीं था तो it always felt like ये क्या है? How do you do it? Is it very cumbersome? But it's not that difficult. Quite simple.
Yes, and I'll share my email ID and number here, or you can share it with the group maybe. And if they have any queries, they can just reach out. It's fine. I'll be happy to just direct them to the right website or right person, or tell them the thing as to how they can proceed the problem. But मेरी तरफ से RTI में यही है, और ज़्यादा details में I didn't want to go because it is something which will come out of practice.
Right.
See, the law on paper is one thing, and the law on the ground is another thing. So, a very wise advice which was given to me by a person, very experienced person. He was like, he see a lot of things in the. He was talking about Madhya Pradesh, but I'm talking about the India per se. कि is like India में बहुत सारी चीजें एक्ट से नहीं चलती हैं, टैक्ट से चलती हैं.
अरे बाप
So, so I took that advice very seriously, and he was actually mentioning to the context. So one is that we have understood a little bit of what the law looks like, how can we file it, etc. Now the struggle is now that we file it and engage. And once we engage, हमने 10 अगर लगा दी, you will understand the entire thing, and you are the expert on RTI then.
Can you also file it anonymously? If
No.
there-
You can put all the wrong details there. No one is going to verify it.
And can they block you if you have filed multiple?
They have not blocked me, so I think they won't block you.
So they provide all the information online. Acha, sorry, we have
Mostly
Akash.
on email. Mostly on email, you'll get it.
Okay, okay. Akash has raised his hand.
हाँ, हेलो एवरीवन। मैं बोल रहा था कि जैसा आपने भी दिखाया, मैंने भी कई आरटीएल फाइल किया अभी तक, लेकिन मेरा एक्सपीरियंस ये रहा है कि जैसे ही मैं सेकेंड अपील में जाता हूँ, वहाँ पर जो मोबाइल नंबर अभी मैंडेटरी नहीं था वो मैंडेटरी होता है, और फिर एड्रेस भी होता है। तो उसका ट्रिक आपने बताया कि आप फॉल्स तो दे सकते हैं, वो वेरीफाई नहीं करते। लेकिन कई बार ये होता है कि वो आपको मतलब उस एड्रेस पर आपको बाय लेटर वो भेज देते हैं, और वो एड्रेस अगर आपका गलत हुआ तो वो लौट जाएगा, तो इन्फॉर्मेशन आप तक आएगी नहीं। तो ऐसी स्थिति में कई बार मतलब कोशिश ये किया जाता है कि हमको आइडेंटिफिकेशन मिल जाए कि कौन आरटीआई फाइल कर रहा है, तो वो लोग मेल पर इंफॉर्मेशन देने से शायद सेकेंड अपील में वो बचते हैं। इसका भी कुछ ट्रिक है या ऐसी कोई जानकारी?
यू कैन आप जो है इसमें ये कर सकते हो कि आप बोल दो कि हमें तो ईमेल पे दे दो। दूसरा यू कैन से कि आप तो कमीशन में जमा करवा दीजिए, हम कमीशन से ले लेंगे। दैट वे यू कैन जस्ट अवॉइड द एड्रेस कि मुझे डर है कि मेरी सेफ्टी को थ्रेट है। मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ होम अफेयर्स की डायरेक्शंस हैं बहुत क्लियरली कि आरटीआई एक्टिविस्ट या आरटीआई कार्यकर्ता अगर हैं और उन पे कोई थ्रेट है तो द पुलिस विल प्रोवाइड सपोर्ट। एसपीज को सबको डायरेक्शंस दिए गए थे। बी दैट एज इट is आप ये अगर आपको अपना एड्रेस नहीं देना है या नंबर देना है, आप बोलो कि हमें वी आर फाइन विद इफ यू प्रोवाइड इन्फॉर्मेशन टू द कमीशन, गिव एन एक्स्ट्रा कॉपी टू द कमीशन, हम उन्हीं से ले लेंगे अपनी कॉपी, डोंट सेंड इट टू अस। बट वो काफी व्यवहारिक चीज है, वो काफी प्रैक्टिकल चीज है। यू हैव टू डू इट व्हेन यू आर फाइलिंग द केस एंड डील विद द कंसर्न्ड फाइलिंग क्लर्क।
Yeah, anybody else has a question? Yeah, I'll Abhay, if you could share your email address in the chat. उसके अलावा अगर कुछ जैसे फोन नंबर वगैरह होगा तो मैं पर्सनली लोगों को I'll share it with them. Yes, I will request everybody who thinks they will need Abhay's assistance or help in the future should save his number and email address. Yeah. Okay, then I think it was a fruitful session. Thank you everyone, first of all, for joining, taking out time to join this session. And thank you very much, Abhay, for this very insightful and very, interactive session. In वही जो दिमाग में एक इमेज था कि what is an RTI, we've heard about it, but never, website पे कभी नहीं गए, never tried doing it. But you made it look very easy. Now we would all want to do that. So yeah, thank you so much. And also for your questions, interactive questions, that made the session engaging. I think we have some messages in the chat, which I should take. Yeah, Harshita is saying thank you. So yeah, thank you, Abhay, and thank you everybody else. We'll have another sessions, similar sessions about which you will be updated on the website, on social media, and in the groups. So yeah, thank you so much, Abhay, and thank you everybody.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, and I'll be most happy if you reach out, और प्लीज आरटीआई लगाओ यार। जरूरी नहीं है कि काम हो तभी लगाओ, बस ऐसे ही लगाओ। इट इज द वे यू कैन कीप द सिस्टम अकाउंटेबल, इट इज द वे यू कैन मेक देम फील दैट कुछ भी नहीं कर किया जा सकता है एंड पीपल आर वॉचिंग। सो आई थिंक जस्ट इट्स एक्टिव सिटीजनशिप एंड वी ऑल नीड टू पार्टिसिपेट इन दैट। बहुत संघर्षों के बाद ये कानून मिला है हमें। Let us try our best that we are able to retain it as it is. Maybe not make it better, but जितना है उतना बच जाए।
Yeah. One last question. You could be very brief. You said that this is the best in information law in the world. You think there's no? Why do you say so?
Because the mechanism that have been set, for example, specifically तो नहीं जाता हूँ, but जो और countries में है ना, where there are transparency laws, right? But the mechanism is not very citizen friendly. The law has not been enacted from the perspective of citizens, but from the perspective of the state. Here, the citizens are the one who were involved very closely in the drafting of the law itself. जैसे आपसे कोई पर्सनल इन्फॉर्मेशन आपकी नहीं मांग सकता, आरटीआई क्यों लगा रहे हो? No one can ask you the purpose of filing RTI. Now, that is a very advanced level thinking back then in 2005, when you were thinking, "Ki, acha." And also the electronic modes, like you have all the information online now. So I think in those many ways, the way citizens have access to information, it is incredible here. Other places, they do not have that kind of direct access to information. And any citizen.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. We understand the importance of it. So yeah. Okay, then thank you everyone. See you in the later sessions, and thank you, Abhay, again so much.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you.